is getting ready, the delegate. time. We were supposed to start earlier, but nonetheless, we kept to our roots and we are on African time. Can we all please stand up for the singing of our national anthem? Thank you so much for leading the song. For a while, it sounded like the American national anthem. Ne? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the first citizen, Ward 23, our councillor, Mr. Hendrik Mashal.
God is good all the time. I like that spirit. I like that spirit. I so wish it can be transformed to all of us who are in here. Bakaitso ke a le dumedisa. Ba itse ba introduce bare I'm the ward councillor. But I would like to do a disclaimer. Wherever I go, I tell people, get to know. Now I'm not a ward councillor, but I'm a servant of the people. My task here is simple but equally important. That I have to acknowledge everyone who's here and welcome them. You're welcome in Ward 23. We don't take for granted that out of 107 wards in Swan, today the event chose to be here in Ward 23. It means all of us are blessed to be here. And we acknowledge the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, isn't it? Yes. Now, the other day I was here, standing here. We had a program, Labor Correctional Services. The program Barrier ex-offenders. Now, when I was given an opportunity to come to the podium, I said, in my ward, in our ward, Ward 23, we don't have ex-offenders. Now, those who invited me, they were puzzled to say, but Councillor, what are you saying? Ngayiphinda le ndaba. Ngathi thina kule ward akunama ex-offenders. Ngizoyiphinda namhlanje. Hore rena mo Ward 23, and you must listen carefully. We don't have LGBTQ. We don't have. We have human beings. Langutwa. Rena le batho. Because Mother Teresa told us to say, immediately when you begin to identify some people within your community and group them, you stand no chance to love them. Angizwa. Immediately, how Toma u divide batho or baleke bo mokete baleke bo mokete. O tlo thoma ho ba le ditheke tsa hore o ke morata ho bokaone ho feta o. Now we don't have such. Modimo weditse motho. Now we must treat each other as human beings. That's all. Now we are here today as human beings to address issues that are troubling us. We are here today to celebrate life. It doesn't matter which one was born or unjani. Wena umutu. Kaofela re di creation tsa Modimo. Ange. So by so saying, we are saying you are all welcome in today's event. Repang, kastswana ba repang, relaxang. In any way, I won't say anything about Dimcha. Usually people will say Dimcha di bofil. Here we don't have dogs. You are welcome. Thank you.
Do you want?
Now I've been given a new instruction to say that you are also welcome. Harentse will be welcoming other. And you know, I'm seeing different people who are seated there and they should be welcome. But for now, ke kopa ke ska ba welcome ke tlo kry list e felletseng so that you can welcome. You know, the problem is that where we are, immediately you miss one person, you'll be dealt with in future. So I must make sure that I acknowledge everyone who's here.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And yeah, as a Ward citizen, as a Ward 23 citizen, I know also there are no violent people because I've never been violated in all my years. Ladies and gentlemen, moving along with the program, coming up next we have Ms. Aina Grobler who will be speaking on mental awareness issues by the Department of Health. Please welcome her. Is she not here? Is she not here? So we're moving along. Right, Miss. Oh, there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, MC, principals, councillors, colleagues, and all protocols observed. I've always wanted to say that. As you heard, I'm Ina Grobler. I am working for the Department of Health in Tshwane District Health Services. I'm by profession an occupational therapist, but the focus for today is mental health. So, as we know, mental health awareness is commemorated every year in the month of October. And this year, under the theme, Access and Inclusion, why community mental health is important. In advocating and initiating and embedding awareness in mental health, we can impact on public health outcomes. It is even more so important that we invest time and effort in vulnerable populations, such as the LGBTQIA+ community. The World Health Organization includes the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, queer or questioning, or asexual in the definition of the LGBTQ health. And this is why we need to specifically focus on conversations with this community, with these individuals. By having these community engagements and events like today, we do more than promote accessibility. We begin to understand and we promote inclusion. South Africa has progressive legislation which protects and promotes the human rights of all its citizens. It promises a good life for all. These values are embedded in health services through Batupele principles. Again, access, information, courtesy. We must act on the needs and address the health outcomes of the vulnerable individuals in society. We must build resilience, establish support, and intervene to reduce risk in all vulnerable populations and individuals. Because we know that there is a higher risk in vulnerable populations. In the LGBTQ population, individuals, we know that there is a higher than average occurrence of mental ill health or disease, HIV/AIDS, and other illnesses. And this also includes substance use and substance abuse. There's a higher rate of depression, suicide, PTSD, anxiety, and stress. And this also includes a higher rate of eating disorders and body dysmorphic disorders. This is a wide range of mental health disorders, illnesses, and problems that occur in vulnerable populations, more so than in other populations. Then there is also a higher rate of tobacco and substance use and abuse. So what can we do at a systems level? We need to take responsibility for accessible services. And it's not just sharing the word that our services are accessible. How do we make our services accessible? Is our services safe and inviting for this population, for these individuals to feel free to access the services? Inclusion and participation on a community level. which must be on a one-to-one level in terms of dialogues, but also open conversations at awareness events, at functions, everywhere in our everyday to-day lives. Policy development and implementation. South Africa is known for good policies, but it's also important to implement those policies, those protocols, those acts. Otherwise, we will not achieve the health outcomes that we would wish. Morakane principles, which is a cornerstone of the Department of Health, and also the I Serve with a Smile initiative, which are all focused to develop compassion, comprehensive and high quality services. And this is required from each and every mental health care practitioner to do this. Then it's also important that we do research and that we use evidence-based research to also how we will help the individual, and also to make it relevant to the South African population. There's lots of research from outside of South Africa, which is not always helpful to us. We need to have our own research. Then continued advocacy and representation. So to have these events, which we have been doing regularly every year, and also continuously within all of the communities. Then very important, which is also evident today, is the interdepartmental and intersectoral collaboration, that all departments, all organizations, private and public, should take hands in improving and identifying the needs and addressing the needs of the community. So what can we do at an individual level? As a healthcare practitioner, as someone in the same community, because I think we are bogged down by bias, our own personal bias, and that's where we can start. One person at a time, one day at a time. So we need to question and confront our own prejudice, because we often have that. And we need to, the perceptions and beliefs that we have about the LGBTQIA+ community, that it's a homogeneous community. Those are the perceptions that we need to challenge. And we challenge it by interacting, by dialoguing, by communicating with the people that is here at stake. Because I'm sure you've heard, don't make decisions about us without us. That is a theme or a slogan that's also used by the disability sector and probably many others. And this is the same. We do not make decisions about other people without them. So this also includes sensitivity towards the use of pronouns and terminology. And it is our responsibility to see how it has changed. Many years ago, before human rights became a priority worldwide, terms that would have been used was gender assignment, the reassignment. Now, that word is gender realignment, because it has this, because of communication, because of dialogues, we now every time understand a bit better what we need to do. We need to acknowledge and work within individuals' self-determination. The same way each one of us are able to determine or self-determine what we want, what are the health outcomes that we want and we need. And this also should go for for the individuals in the LGBTQ community. Training and exposure and awareness towards diversity competence, including admin and security. What this means is it's not only the responsibility of the doctor and the nurse, the healthcare practitioner. This must be pulled through from all levels, even the admin and the security and the cleaner must be capacitated to understand this population so that these people are treated with dignity and with respect, because that is what we need to do. And we need to identify when those things are not happening, and we need to manage that, and we need to deal with that. Foster belonging rather than conforming, understanding rather than prescribing, because we cannot be just accommodating. Our objective should be to listen with the view of understanding, not to listen with the view to respond. And we all know that, and it's difficult sometimes if you need to open up to understand maybe a population that you are not familiar with. Exposure and openness to mutual learning. I think this is, we know that is one of the good principles to achieve success, that it cannot be only from one side. It needs to be from both sides, that we listen to each other and learn from each other. Then it's also important to understand the LGBTQIA+ population's history and the unique concerns and risks. And this is also, we can read up, we can, but importantly would also be to talk to people and to ask them and to understand. And I'm sure that if we have an open attitude, if we have a positive attitude, we will be able to come to a better place. So to conclude, we need to continuously work closely with sexual and gender minority communities, leaders, and activists in assessing risk and benefits or research or interventions. Safe environments and spaces. We need safe environments and spaces to access healthcare initiatives which are fundamental to advancing the health of sexual and gender minorities. Addressing the needs of sexual and gender minorities, minority children and adolescents is even more so important. We know that up to 40% of mental illnesses start in the child and adolescent developmental phase. And if we put effort into that population within these individuals, the purpose would be to prevent mental illness, because that is how we will achieve a good life for all, an optimal life. We need to combat exclusion, discrimination, prejudice, and violence, because this population is also more exposed to violence because of the vulnerabilities. So in the end, we need to work on our knowledge, skill, and attitude. You need to understand, and then you need to practice that your understanding every day at your place of work. And that is how we will create understanding and be able to take care of everyone in our community, in our families, in our places of work, in our schools, everywhere. Thank you very much for your attention, and it was truly an honor and a privilege to speak to you about just a little bit of the mental health impact in the LGBTQIA population. And I do hope that I'll be seeing you around. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grobler. You know, when I was preparing to MC this event, I did a lot of research. And coming here today, I realized there are people who actually know more than what I could find on the internet. So thank you very much for that. I'm very happy that today we have a crowd that is mixed. Those of us who do belong in the Alphabet Gang and those who are supporters of the Alphabet Gang, because as important as it is for us to know and accept ourselves, it is just as important for the people that we live with to be educated and know about the LGBTQI plus community. Our next speaker will be speaking on stigmatization within communities, and she's from the Department of Social Development. Now, we know that when AIDS first came out, it was stigmatized or associated with being gay. And for a very long time, gay people were discriminated because they were thought to be the bringers of HIV and AIDS. And we know now that that is not the case. So coming up next, we have Ms. Estelle Otto, who will be sharing more insight on that. Please welcome her, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Fortunately, we are all short, ne? We don't have to go. Okay, can everybody that is sitting on the side please stand up? If you are sitting on the side of the row here, with the nice young people there, Gogo, can you stand with that baby? Lady with the hat, everybody that's on the side. And on this side, everybody what is on this side, please stand up for me. And Ina at the back there. I'm just going to test you. I'm not a teacher, but I know it is matric exams. Only the person at the end. Only the person at the end. Okay. Can you please do this, ne? Put your hand in front of you long. The other people, you must watch them. I just want to see if they are sleeping, if they are awake. Do what I do, ne? Can you see my hand? Please touch your cheek. Look at the people. Please touch your cheek. What is this? Who are sleeping? This is your chin, this is your cheek, ne? You failed the exam today. So I am from the Department of Social Development in Gauteng. Did you see on this beautiful TVs? There's a round circle, then it has colors. Which is the top color? The circle. There's a little circle with colors. Which color is the top one? Red. And I also see in the middle there's somebody with a black t-shirt. Can you please stand up for me? With the Africa, yes, Africa t-shirt. Please show everybody that beautiful t-shirt. Turn around. Can you see red? And then what color is it? Orange, yellow, green. Thank you so much. So that is the rainbow colors of the LGBTI community. And when you see anyone that comes to an event using those colors, please go to them and say to them, hi, are you from the LGBTI community? Because they are so shy, they want to run away. Ne? So now please, when you see anyone, go and say to them, hi, are you from the LGBTI community? Because it means that you were educated. Ne? Next question. Who knows nothing about LGBTI? You've never been to a talk or an event for LGBTI. It's your first time. Just wave at me. If you've never ever heard about LGBTI, oh, thank you. I wish you were a fan. Then we could feel a little bit cooler. So we are here to learn something in Mamelodi today from the Mlungus, ne? So when you got the invitation to come and listen about this lesbian and gay and all these things, what was the first thing that came up in your mind? Please tell your neighbor. 1 minute, just tell your neighbor. When you heard we're going to talk about lesbians and gays today, what were you feeling? Tell the person next to you. Thank you. Do you see the pen in my hand? I'm going to drop it, ne? Shh, look at it drop. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it wasn't there. So, if we talk about what is LGBTI, some people is like, oh, I don't want to hear about that nonsense, ne? Go away. Because some people don't want to talk about the rainbow people. And the legislature has started many years ago to say, no, let's talk about these things. Even if the church and our traditional healers and leaders said, we're not talking about this topic. All right. And that is what we call stigma. It's something negative. We don't want to talk about it. We say, I don't want to talk about this. In your church, you can put up your hand if you have heard this thing, that the church says, we only have Adam and Eve, we don't have Adam and Steve. So here in this church, we will not talk about LGBTI. Has anyone heard it from the church that says, in this church we will not talk about LGBTI? Even in my church we had it, ne? Anyone else? A lot. Wave, otherwise I think you are sleeping. Did you hear your church pastor say that? No. Oh, you have got a nice pastor. And what about culture? Did you maybe have a meeting at your house or a stokvel, and then you start talking about lesbian and gay people, and then people start walking out, or they tell you, those people, there's something wrong with them. It's just a fashion. It's just a culture. In my family, there's no such thing. In my house, there will not be an LGBTI child. Ne? Have you heard it? Just use 2 hands if you've heard it. Thank you. So let's look at what is LGBTI, because we know we've got a lot of English, and we don't always know how to explain LGBTI. So if we look at gay people, the G is for gay. When you were growing up in your community, did you look at the boys and the girls and the children playing? And there's this one boy, when you look at him, you're like, this one, I think he's gay. Because sometimes when little boys plays with other children, you can see this one, he's a little bit more feminine. Nah. Now, your parents and your grandparents, if you ask them, did you have gay children? when you were young, what will they tell you? There were gay children when they were growing up. It is just that it wasn't allowed. Because when a boy grows up and he is in primary school, you can see he's a little bit gay. Ne? When he comes in high school, now the boy starts looking at other boys and he's like, yo, I'm not like those boys. You see, when the boys talk to each other, they say, oh, that girl, she's beautiful. Ne? And then this gay boy says, I don't feel any attraction when I look at other girls. So when boys get to the age of puberty, they start seeing that they are different from other boys. But now, because they don't want other people to see they are different, they will even date girls. And even if they go out of school, they will even date girls. They could even get married. They could even have children. Because they feel that pressure from their families to say, you must be in a relationship, you must get married, you must have children. And then when this person is in the marriage, they start seeing, no, I don't feel the love in this marriage because of myself and my sexual orientation. Am I right? Now let's get to lesbians. Is it easy to see somebody is a lesbian when they are children? It's not easy to see a girl is a lesbian. No? Even you can maybe say, this child is a tomboy. But you will not know when they are still young, because now girls are also using shorts, wearing shorts. They're also wearing pants. Ne? So only when the girl starts dating and falling in love, that is only when we will see a person is maybe a lesbian. Am I right? Am I wrong? You can do thumbs up, you can do thumbs down, you can be in between as well. Okay. Now the other letter in the alphabet that people don't know is intersex. I'm not going to go through the whole alphabet, ne? Otherwise we will sleep here. But what is intersex? That is when the baby is born. I see a lot of babies here. When the doctor picks up the baby and he says, is this a boy or a girl? Now when an intersex baby is born, there's a problem. Because this baby is a boy and a girl. So the child has both genitals for boy and a girl. Not only on the outside of the body, but also inside the body. Now, who says that this is nonsense? There's never been intersex babies in South Africa. Now, the reason for that is it was something that we kept quiet. It will be between the doctor and the parents. But please go on the internet or in Facebook and type it in and learn more about it. Okay, I'm finished with the alphabet. Now, what I want to say, what is it? Why is the Department of Social Development in the LGBTI program? Why we are there is because of the community that is doing bad things to the LGBTI community. This is like years ago. When you see a gay boy, what did you do when you are a group of boys or men? There's a gay boy walking there. What do? Bashing, ne? Assaulting a person that is gay because you believe it's not right to be gay. So you were bashing these gay people. So now what is also happening, if there's a person in your community and you know they are from the LGBTI community, there is something called corrective rape. Maybe you will be in the shebeen tonight or tomorrow, and now everybody knows that girl is a lesbian. And she's even there with a girlfriend or friends. Now you sit there, you think, this is not right, I will not take it. And then the person says, I'm going to teach her a lesson. I'm going to show her what is right. And that is where corrective rape is coming in. And in Gauteng, over the years, we also have people from the LGBTI community that was killed. So from the Department of Social Development and also other government departments, I know community safety is here, the brigades wave, ne? I know there's other NPOs. If you are from an NPO, well, Lievenoud's I heard you are here. As organizations, we do go to communities and we teach them love, not hate. Like your counselor said, we are all human first, and then our sexual orientation is also there. And I've got a purple t-shirt that talks about LGBTI, but my colleague at the back here from Access Chapter 2 has a black t-shirt. You must take a photo of that. It says, #love, don't hate. We do not hate people because they are different from us. They're from the LGBTI community. All right, so which organizations do we have in Gauteng? Let's see, is everybody here from Pretoria? Ish. So in Pretoria or Tshwane, we've got Access Chapter 2, and they're going to speak for themselves. We also have Imisebe Yelanga, that is an NPO, and other NPOs that you as an LGBTI person can go to. But we also have the social workers at the Department of Social Development. So if you need to speak to somebody as an LGBTI person, or you have an LGBTI person in your family, and it's not easy for you, please go to the social workers at any NGO or at the Department of Social Development and speak to them. And like the Department of Health said, they've got psychologists. If you want to speak to somebody, go to the clinic and ask, can I please speak to a psychologist? Make an appointment. Don't keep it for yourself, to yourself, ne? Because we are like a balloon. If you blow a balloon up, what happens? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We are the same. If we only put stress in our bodies and more stress in our bodies, what will happen? If we don't speak to anyone, it becomes heavy and heavy and heavy. So what happens to the balloon? If it's too big, it explodes, it bursts. We are like that. If we have too much pressure and stress and we don't let it out, we will also burst. We will start drinking too much. We will start doing wrong things because we snap. So please come and speak to us. Do you have an LGBTI person in your family in the Eastern Corridor? Ekurhuleni. We have Ekopuleni Mental Health that has LGBTI programs. We have Tembisa, Tatu One Big Family. We have EPOC in Kwatema. So please, if you have somebody in your family that you think maybe this person is LGBTI, just go on Facebook. Type in LGBTI. There are so many groups that you can go to, and there is a safe space where you can learn from other people. Okay. Who is from Sedibeng or know anybody that's LGBTI in Sedibeng? You don't have family in the other places. It's only Pretoria. But in Sedibeng, we've got Badu Metse Batu, and they also have a program that DSD funds. In Central Corridor, which is Johannesburg, we have an organization for parents, families, and friends of queers. So if you as a parent have an LGBTI child, then it's difficult for you because you thought your child was going to get married, have children, etc. There is this organization that's doing fantastic work that can also just help and support you. Okay, so I've spoken a lot, But I hope that you just learned one thing today about LGBTI, and that you will go and study it a little bit further, like our program director has said. Okay, can we all please stand up? Please stand up. Let's just say goodbye. Stretch and touch the ceiling. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Stretch to the side and just say hello to your neighbor. Greet the person next to you. Say hi, neighbor. And behind you, hi, neighbor. Okay, just kick your feet a little bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Estelle. Now, the councillor did say, hore, onale stakeholders and guests that we should welcome. And then, then they'll probably never bring an event such as this to Ward 23 again. So, in our mess, we'd like to welcome community leader and PEC member Kater Gogon Lovana. Yes, you can clap. REC member Kater Sandra Lamola. You guys should be clapping the hardest for the people who are wearing the rainbow, eh? This is our thing. And then also Mr. Sean from the ARC organization. Our next speaker is motivation from Mr. Relebohile. Relebohile. Oh, you see, guys, when it comes to LGBTQI+, so can I identify as Mr. It's one of the things you need to know.
Dumelang, I would like to apologize for Mr. Rilebuhile. I'm not him. He couldn't make it. I'm a peer ambassador. I go shout it now in the 20 district. Okay, go shout it now. We are youth-centered. We work with the youth. We typically do HIV testing, family planning. We also offer PEP, and now we're working on offering ARTs as well. More Mamelodi, you can find us in different places. A mobile clinic. So, go maybe Mam's Molo or a Kodaha, go barking stanza at the clinic. Render our services. How am I that tall? It's easy. Okay, so in our mobiles, we look at Rona DP ambassador, our nurses, DHCA, and also our social workers, Baba Dilanga, gender-based violence counseling, and mental health. One of our social workers will come forward and tell you more about it. Thank you.
Dumelang, guys, everyone. Lina Lagake Morongwa, as Letabo has already mentioned, I'm one of the social workers, more shouted now. So as the social work department, gender-based violence, mental health, for everyone and then all age groups. But at this moment, target ya LGBTQI, the numbers are thing to class, guys. you're not coming, ale access the services tsa rona tse leng hore di free. So I would like to encourage everyone hore atle, are discriminate, are stigmatize everyone. So whoever is going through gender-based violence, whether it's something that's in the past, maybe azanka wakara counseling, or maybe it's something that is happening at the moment, and then you don't have anyone we are here for you, and then we know who there are those or aba feel comfortable to go to our mobiles, social worker face to face. So that is why Renalem, a WhatsApp chatbot, Ribita Chomi, you can access it. Renale number ya yona, so if anyone we are here until the event is over, you can approach us or go to number ya Chomi. So basically, the chatbot, you're going to say hi, and then the message and what they pop up, and then you are select the hearing, counseling, support, services, and then would you like to speak to a social worker? Then you press yes. How press a yes? It comes to us in the office, and then our phone message and then we're not go through 1, 2, 3, 4. I can or what. And maybe you're still in the closet. I don't like to use that term, mara. They're in the alphabet gang, mara. I feel comfortable enough, or maybe the space doesn't allow them, but they reveal so. So, they can text us, and then okay, support the So I'm not going to say much about the mental health, stigma and discrimination, because our colleagues have already mentioned them. So WhatsApp chatbot available for everyone, and then I would like to encourage, especially the LGBTQI people, who are access because the Rainbow Nation. So are discriminating against anyone. That's it from Sharit now. Thank you.
Guys, can we please welcome Riketi, and we are very blessed, Kajeko, and very fortunate to have in our midst Ndate Klou Chokwe, who is committee chair, provincial, legislature, who sits in parliament. Like that's how honored we are. We have somebody from parliament here within our midst talking about issues that affect the LGBTQI plus community, more what 23. Like that is how chosen and blessed we are this December. So ladies and gentlemen, maybe here Papa Tamatodi sweat glances are but can we please give Mr. Chokwe a very warm welcome. And our next speaker, if Lenalidi Dipenele my page, our next speaker is very knowledgeable in topics that LGBTQI+. I've sat with this guy, I've learned a lot from him, and there's a lot to be learned. For us as LGBTQI+ community members, and for the community who have to live with us, and for parents who have to be our parents, and our brothers and our sisters. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to Sean.
Thank you so much for the warm reception. Kalibito ke nna Sean, ke tswa ke le ko Access Chapter 2. I'm very, very gay. Ke gay ya khale. Ke le dumedisa bo botlhe, bo koko ba rona, bo ntate mogolo, bo mme, bo ntate, bashimane, banyana, di gay, di lesbian, di transgender, and a very warm greeting to our councillor and a member from the legislature and esteemed colleagues. Ke ya ka lona leo ke re, all protocol observed. I'd like to thank the legislature for the invite, and to stand here with Lesego, of course, on behalf of the queer community or the rainbow community or the alphabet gang. It's a very huge honor to stand here and represent the voices of the minority. I see a lot of familiar faces, of course, in the room, so hello to all of you as well. So I'm going to be very, very brief because of this heat. Otherwise, get off in tamopela lona. Humabone, hudi TV, hudi camera, who busy man, who busy. So I'm going to be very brief. Also because the colleagues that have spoken before me have covered a lot of the things that I was going to talk about. Thank you to Estelle for the mini sensitization. I think that was very, very necessary as a build-up to, the program of the day, especially when a gay person is supposed to stand in front of the community. So thank you for that. I believe our mental health is a problem, not just a queer or an LGBTI issue. And access to psychosocial services is a right for all of us. However, in reality, Reina, as the gay, when we have to access these services, are we feeling safe? It's a very, very big problem. And that's why we have NGO. But also, we don't know about these NGOs. And I think for Shout It Now to be here today, Access Chapter 2 to let you know that these services are available and they are also very free and very safe for everyone in the room and not just for the gays and the lesbians. Through research, the LGBTI people have very high numbers, mental health issues, and this is largely because of stigma and discrimination. And the stigma and discrimination, which is supposed to be the safest space for anyone involved. Mama ke gay ke problem. Hore biang na ka bele ha ngwana gay ke tliste moshimane mo lefatsheng o mpotsang agishane ba tlo reng ho tswa ka gate bo mahishane ba tlo reng ba thoma le bona hore yo mmoneng a shuli ha tshwanne le ba bang ore o tšhabela ko sekolong ma teacher le bona ba re o wela kae ko banyane ngore ko ba shimane he sekolo se tswa or ke after care ba re mmoneng a shu ka sonta ha o ya kerekeng ke ba ruti ko kerekeng and ko kerekeng like bible e re are jajane mara ko kerekeng ba re nyedisa ba re dladisi and then ore e re ke spetlele cause ke tshwere ke STI or ko clinicing ko A5 nna se ke re ke nna west o ye clinicing ko A5 o tsene o le gay bjana ka nna net ka tseno I'm less gay like I ramanala but usually I have my nails done ke ba mo gelingsi o mo serious but how tsena go clinicing o le gay o le transgender o le butch lesbian ke one o sa tsena go mnyako ma security a sebe then go di filing ke problem how tsena go high blooding ba bitsana how tsena go consultation this is before about tlhaba injection by the way by the time o fitla go injectioning o goile through everything ka mo clinicing ya mahala ba patela hore ba thuse rena askis miss Ina Grobler from the Department of Health. I'm bashing you a little bit here and then from there o ye police station ba o rapile ba o bethile ha fitla police station o bethile ke nna ke bethile ke boyfriend taka he ke tsena o le moshimane le bethana bjang o motlohela bjang a o betha o le moshimane. Do you understand? And all of these things, when you sit alone and you think about them and you process them, they damage your mental health and your psyche and they contribute to the overall issue, which is your mental health. And then, how now utinahana, that's when your depression kicks in, you know. That's when your bipolar kicks in, because now you have to have multiple personalities. When you're in the home, and then how to gate, you become a different person. In another environment, you have to be a different person. And these things also lead to multiple personalities disorder, which is a mental health issue on its own. Go through the most as the gay, the lesbian, the trans. The kalate aria barkaboom, like we show you how proud of ourselves we are. But the world was designed to bring us down. People will take whatever opportunity they have to bash us. And bona baba happy at that moment by calling me Stabane, by calling me Says Booty, but they don't understand what that does to me mentally. No, Peter Stabane mola ka tekarabelo or marabushiu or Stabane. Mar when I sit and think about it, kola kili one ebeki yako A5 ke re kopela social worker o jola bana le bashimane o le moshimane wa ntlhalahanya ke bo satanism ke bo like baruti ba rena also counselors ba botsa gore no a ona ntweo ko rapedisa ke ditshila mang tseo a re rapeleng khunama ba tle le holy water ba ha sheka metsi mola go busy and then o sala o le gay mara o traumatized now when you factor in malwetsi a tshwana le bo HIV, like re tshabo ya ho testa ko di clinicing, because also as part of testing tshwantse ba botsisa sexual history akere or kaya ka shout it now ba botsisa sexual history. Do you have sex? Or yes. Do you have sex with men or with women? With men. When you have sex with men, all men, how do you do it? People are so invested in our bedroom business as well. And then I want to have samba to have straight or like Lena, but that's a story for another day. I think more than anything, this is such a necessary engagement because it highlights how mental health is very, very important, not just for the LGBTQI community, I think, but for everyone. Kansela Ranta Anzimo could be dealing with something and we don't know, because today we focus on more Rainbow Nation. Relevate to South Africa, Rainbow Nation. Not saying everyone is gay. But everyone is dealing with something, do you understand? Especially in this day and age, we're all going through something. And I think it's very, very important that we access these services that Estelle was talking about, as well as social worker ko di clinicing, hona le psychologist ko di clinicing, hona le NGO, ke tswa ko access chapter 2, rena le di social worker, rena le psychologist, and ke mahala all of these things. And then nako rena ho tsena ro fa password ya Wi-Fi. Herfetsa ro fa metsi and autonya o ka se kholwana re atonya ho tshwere charger ro charge tsa phone ho re tla o tlhakana le nna la mpona ke hafa bang le go merekong, like I'm literally just like this. Those who know me from work will tell you this is who I am 24/7. This is what you see is what you get. As marnet ka tsene ke tlile like less gay, I don't know why, but anyway ke December man a go nyeweng. I think also, as someone who's also living in Mamelodi, who is LGBTI identifying and is also battling with mental health issues, I think this is a very big representation, not just from the legislature, but for the community as well, you know, to see one of your own standing here to talk about things that we all deal with, do you understand? So it's very significant and honoring to be here, standing in front of you. In closing, I would just like to implore everyone, not just Rena as the rainbow community, but everyone who's in the room, and tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends to tell their family members, their sisters, their brothers. Like there are free services in clinics, in NGOs, and all of these services were designed for all of us, not just for straight people. Please make it clear. I could literally make you lose your job. Tell them these services are for all of us, by all of us, and I'm here to access these services. Not just for the statistics, for research, not just to but also for yourself. You need to take care of yourself before you take care of the next person. You can't always pour into people's cups. And then when I however empty, you also need to pour into your own cup. You know, but in closing, I'd like to say to the rainbow community, to the queer community, you are enough, you are loved, you are special, and more than anything, you matter. You matter, you matter, you matter. Thank you, thank you.
One more shout out to Sean and the LGBTQI plus community. Now guys, what Sean is saying is very important. I walked around a very bitter person for a long time until Gebanale psychologists. Now we all need everybody, whether you're part of the LGBTQI plus community or you're just a human being. As a human being, you need a psychologist. Because I used to project, right? People will project their negative behaviors onto you. Somebody who tells you, that's negativity, and they're projecting. And it's not like they're using their lips. It's not like you're using their lips to do that. It's your lips and the other person's lips. So it's very important, guys, to pour vele into your own cup. Get yourself to an NGO, some of these services are free, very free of charge. Get yourself a psychologist, speak about these problems. Also, they don't just service the LGBTQI plus community, they service everyone. Because like our counselor said, before you are LGBTQI plus, or before you are gay or lesbian, you're human. And as a human being, you need to invest in yourself. You're the best thing you have. So, yeah, recognize, but we're here offering our services. We'd like to also recognize the IEC, social development, health, and shout it out now. And also coming up next, we have questions. Any questions that you have for any of the speakers that have spoken already, or anybody who is LGBTQI plus that feels like they can respond to the questions asked. We're opening the floor for questions. Can you facilitate this? Take the question. You know more about it. Okay, Mama. Yes.
Yes, ma.
Ninjani?
Siyaphila.
Ngiyaphila. Gays and lesbians abantwana bethu sibazalile. Ngangisho. Mina manje ngithi iban open nisitshele thina as parents. Iban open nisitshele thina as parents. Ngezwe ngomunye umuntu next door athi umntana wakhe uyambona njani. Ngitshele ngumama wakho mina. Whatever oyiyo umntanami ngokuzalile, so I love you. I will love you. Angeke nje ngize ngokugxeke futhi. And angeke ngijabulise omunye umuntu. Ngijabulise next door ngithi umntanami ngisaba abantu bazothina. No. You are my child and then I will support you. As long as you come back to me. I wish all parents ukuthi nabo bangabanjalo. Ukuthi ba accept abantwana babo. And then enye into ngimzwile athi mabembingelela athi sora igama local ngilazi. Athi mabembingelela uthi sesi uthi mina ngisungusisi ngicela nisitshele ukuthi sin address kanjani.
Oh, ngifuna ukuyi-understand. Kunempendulo lana, so before mhlambe ngiphendula, let someone else come in and then we'll take it from there.
Oh, sanibonani. Omela phambi kwenu uzaza we-SAQ movement yaseTshwane district. Ngicela ukuphendula umama. Ngiyakuthanda sithandwa sami. Thanks for your words. But we are scared to our parents. Mina coming out ekhaya. Mina, I want to give you an example ngami. Mina coming out ekhaya, my mom beseka shonile. So ukutshela busisi bami, one of my sisters said to me, "You are dead to me," because of my sexuality. So it's not easy for all of us ukuthi sikhame out to our parents. It's not easy for all of us ukuthi sikhame out to our family members. But I'm happy and I'm glad ukuthi whenever or whatever I'm doing, yeah, LGBTI, all my sisters are there. So babonile ukuthi we can't stop her. She's Zaza, she's this. Thank you very much.
And ka speed just ho fitisa ela ya hore nare se sikimang. Lesego go outanyana ne, go out unless if you've outed yourself already, but lesego identify as a transgender man. Ne? Lesego our program director identify as a transgender man, which means ubelegwe ali female akere, but identity high yena ke moshimane ke monna actually, because moshimane ke a monyenyefatsa ke monna hara banna o itse ke tsheba kere. And with that said, we've discovered where like a lot of transgender people are transgender until bakria to estela yentseng hanyane, which we call a sensitization training. That's when people actually understand who they are and how they identify and barata bomang, you know, how they want to have their sex and so on and so forth. Happy. But next question, I hope ko arabile ma'am. Right? All right.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Nelson. I'm from Olivet Development Association. I'm a child and youth care worker as a professional advocate. I once had this problem. This other lesbian para bo out. So, bafeleza ba mukubile skolo because of na sanya ko ho para diwe banyana ba parangate. So, Renaka Cholopelio won't hurry, or Vanava ba be free ko discolon, Sansi by re or a Bahonova over again, or Bahono avoid that this thing stigmatizing go to community. Taking a good to go and Sansi causing like there is a lapse for the community, they don't know more information. So, Karilote so takosi skela hore to save na hore riska ba damage di mental health is abona hore ba kene skolo. What should we do?
Okay. Leseho.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress enough the importance of educating other people. Even as a queer person, you constantly need to educate other people. I don't know if I've been privileged or blessed, but the community that I live in, because I am so, but because I'm so loud about my sexuality, even the schools around Banabateng, they're able to be themselves. There's a child, Kobalabochem Primary School, who came out when he was in 3rd grade. Nabuta, the teacher already, I'm not a boy. I'm a girl trapped in a girl's body. And never mudumela atlas kolonkas keteli braids, because that's who he was. So I cannot stress enough the importance of educating your community members, your families, your friends, and sometimes, you know, they discriminate you in a form of jokes. And that's not okay. It may seem like it's okay, and to some people it might pass, but it's not okay. Do not allow people to make jokes Marabao, we are placing you in danger.
I think in line with ntho e le seho a e bolelang, like you teach people how to treat you, you know. And when you allow people to treat you like trash, then of course you identify as trash. Mara, back to motabeng ya di uniform, like ntlo engwe le engwe e na le molao, la tlhaloganya. Dikolo, we are guided by policies and constitutions and disciplinary code, the code of conduct and such. But we have found that when you have a supportive family, of course, because you wouldn't identify as something and your family doesn't support you, and then everyone, but when your family supports you, then you can, with your family, approach the school principal together with the SGB and sit them down and explain, this is how I identify and this is how I would like to dress, you know. And if you still have issues, when I the NGO, like Access Chapter 2, legal department, I'm not saying sue us kolo, but try everything else, and then if all of that fails, then you can take it to the next step. But of course, has it's about allow go skolong hore wena o kana wa apara uniform e opposite to your assigned sex at birth, doesn't mean now you must disrespect them o tsena ka meremi pink. La ntlhaloganya ne? So yeah, respect, both ways, actually. Is there another question? Yes, my darling.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Monareng. I am from the ANC LGBTQI plus desk here in Tshwane. And, you know, I'm a gender diverse person, meaning that I use the pronouns they, them, theirs.
Of course.
And I prefer being called, not being called Mr. or Miss, whatever, but being called MX. And that's a plea to you, Ndate Chokwe, to you, to the legislature, because we've been having these talks already. We need to use this gender honorifics, which are gonna be neutral, to avoid that we're gonna be misgendered, you know. Ufikamola, you'll be like, hi, my name is Leslie, wara. But we say, okay, Papa, then you'll be like, no, Mama, I am gender diverse, I'm non-binary. Then batlo would no, that doesn't work. Ering pasa, ering mail, ering bank card. Baroto periksa bank card actually, but ering, ring Mr. Monareng, Egasiri MX, ewe na wibata. So I'm pleading to you as Gauteng, as we know that Gauteng is usually, you know, the first to introduce certain things here in the country. Hope you advocate for us there. As one, you are taking this posture of introducing this gender neutral honorifics, because we cannot be always, you know, having to fight, because I have to fight on a daily. I have to fight in certain areas of my life. Lucas Golong, fortunately, they've started this transition of having to use this MX title because of some of the people, the trans people haven't gone there through realignment surgery. They haven't gone by the change go home affairs, because to avoid being misgendered, that's why they're starting to introduce this gender honorifics. So I'm pleading to you, and thank you.
Right. Like Hafisa, and then we really Hufisa West, because it's a very, very valid point. I think people, and not just legislature, but everyone in general needs to now understand and go through sensitization, I think, and start using proper pronouns. You know, not everyone identifies as, not always what you see is what you get. Sometimes, but I identify as something else, you know, and I think it's very, very important for people to have, you know, sensitization trainings that are constant and that are consistent. I think DSD, I'll throw this one to you. But also with us, we do that as well. And it's very, very important. Thank you. I don't know if there are any other questions. Are there any other questions? Is there? Oh. Batong, mofeng maiki.
Okay, Good evening, good morning everyone, or good afternoon.
O rata boshigo.
Skis, ngwana bushiwe anyway. My name is Bongani and I'm from Tandanani Drop-In Center, and our program director is my colleague, by the way. Now we work at Tandanani, one of the most inclusive organizations that I know. So, my question is on social inclusion. So during my time at UJ tried to implement, I don't know whether I should say, can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Hello? Sure. So UJ tried to implement, I don't know whether I should say it's a system or a process where they try to have one toilet being used by all genders, right? And then of course there were some discontentments here and there, right? So I'm trying to understand, my question is, do you think it's conducive to have all genders use a single lavatory, considering all the high rates of sexual offense, sexual harassment, and all of these things? So that's my question.
Thank you. That's a very, very important question. I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. I don't know if you want to maybe jump in as well. I think, ko gae go na le toilet ya banyana le ya bashimane or re berekisa one bo botle, ne? But that's something else, because ko gae it's very, very safe. When now you bring in public places like go skolong, go malling, and it becomes something else. But I think more than anything, it stems from a point of protecting, how do I put this? Gender diverse individuals, who may not necessarily feel safe and actually be safe in the toilet of their assigned sex at birth. For instance, nano, but on a random day you could find me in a crop top and heels, and for me to step into a male bathroom is a problem. But when there's a gender neutral bathroom, then it's easier for me, it makes sense for me. And of course, from a safety perspective, women and men cannot use the same toilet in a mall, because women will never feel safe, if we're going to be honest. And especially the high rates of rape, you said sexual offenses are very, very high in our country, which is just shame, of course. But from a safety perspective, it doesn't make sense. But from a representation, it's more than enough. It's what we want, it's what we deserve, and we're not trying to be special. I was recently in Cape Town, which is a very big hospital in the country, and I was surprised to see that they have gender neutral toilets, and they are very, very conducive, and they work for them, and they are very, very safe. I didn't ask how they made them safe, and camera toilet is another thing, because hey, sana privacy issues. But I think if we learn from already existing institutions that have gender neutral bathrooms that actually work for them, we may actually, be there. But I'll hand over to Estelle to maybe jump in as well. From social development, by the way.
No, maybe just to add, I think the reason that that question came up is that there was something in the news for the schools, ne? Am I right? That they said they wanted to have unisex toilets at schools. And I think then parents said, no way, I'm not going to feel that my child is safe if there's unisex toilets. So I totally agree what Sean has, the way he has answered. I think if there is a mall that is being constructed or a new school that is built, there is nothing wrong with having a unisex toilet. Like you have one for people with disabilities, or maybe you have a toilet where a family can go, like a mother or a father with a baby, when you have to change the nappies. So I think for me it is about not changing what we have, because I don't think we've got money to now build new toilets and everything. But maybe if there's a new place that is being built, it can be considered. But I think the answer was perfect.
Reshap, nkanna ka buisetsa ko Leseo. Lesa le sharp. Le nna ke sharp. Leseo, I think I'll hand over back to you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Lesha boro luto office. Office ne? Le nna ke afi. So, re tswela pele, akere? And re santsane re amohela some of our guests that are here that we didn't get a chance to in the beginning. We'd like to welcome the Department of Home Affairs. There are truckers outside. They will be servicing today as well. And then we'd also like to welcome Bontate Maphodisa, SAPS. Do you guys feel protected? Do you? All right. Our next speaker is from IEC. IEC. And la itse ka nako vote hore ona le ba bang a ba rate mara ka nako vote ba rekisa regalia ya rena. They sell the rainbow things mara he ngwaha o ntse o le ona bana ona they want to take away our rights. You must know who you're for. Otherwise what will use? You must know how we got to where we are, how we have the rights that we have and who fought for that. Must always remember that. So up next we have a speaker from the IEC.
Yo, kuyashisa guys. Yo. Sishelani kangaka. Izono ne? Sizibhadela phi izono lezi guys? Yeah, I see people are a bit sleepy. And then, nokushisa lokwenza ukuthi singa concentrate. Can we please stand up and do a small activity? Please, it won't take long. Okay. Angithi mina bashizo bathi I am from IEC. Nayibona abbreviation yethu, it's in capital letters, angithi. So we're going to write the abbreviation using our wrist, right? So uzongibheka bese wenze njengami ne. Siyabhala manje. Niyabona IEC, it's IEC, right? Let's go. I E C. Guys, let's go again. 1, 2, 1, 2. I E C. Okay, thank you guys for participating. Thank you so much. Okay, I would like to greet everybody. Please note that all protocols are observed. My name is Thandeka Machika. I am with Umam Nomsa. She's at the back in my store. We are from IEC. We are so pleased today to have partnered with these stakeholders as corner like her today to commemorate the World AIDS Day and raise awareness within the mental health LGBTQI community. So Tina Natisila to support the initiative. Ne? We are behind you guys. Amandla. Awuzwaki. So what are we? IEC yini? Ubani ungangitshela ukuthi IEC yini? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Oh yeah, thank you for that. Uti Independent Electoral Commission. She's right, ne? So we are an organization that administers elections, national, provincial, and local. So our mandate is to make sure that those elections are free and fair, and then we declare those elections, those results within 7 days. So part of our functions is to make sure that we update the common national voters roll. We educate people about our votes, and then we go around and give people information about the electoral voter processes. And to add on that, we also compile and update the candidates and party agents list and support stakeholders. That's why Silage today. Another thing, we review legislation that applies to elections. So again, why are we here basically today, Tina? We are here to share information about the current project, which is registration. Guys, are you registered to vote? Yes. Really? Yes. I am glad. So, okay, if you are not, please come to us, we will assist you. Or, kunama pamphlet ngwabekile itulweni la. Ma pamphlet lawo achaza everything. It will take you through the process. If we are stuck, you can come to our offices. I am based in Mamelodi West, meaning Munitoral office, and then we are also having an office in Stanzabopape, I think, Community Hall. So the process goes like this. For you to be able to register yourself online, you need to be 16 years and above. You need to have a smart card ID. You need to also have green barcoded ID. And then you can also use your temporal certificate, that is within 3 months. And then if awukhonanga ukuza kimi today, kustall sami, use our website, www.elections.org.za. Guys, I am also here to encourage you to register yourself to vote because we want to maintain and strengthen our democracy. That's it from me, guys, today. Thank you so much. If you need anything, silapha emuva. Thank you.
And while she's speaking about IDs, the green barcoded ID and the smart ID, our next speaker is from the Department of Home Affairs, Mr. Dumisani Ndamela. Mr. Dumisani. You see again the pronouns.
Nna ke tlo se betha Spitori ne. Leina la ka ke Zipora wa Hamatlango. I'm the office manager wa Home Affairs ko Mahube. Hona lo sa itseng Home Affairs Mahube? Okay. Ha o fitla ko Home Affairs Mahube o na le mathata o no ikhopella Zipora tlo thusa. I'm the head of office ko Mahube. As Home Affairs mandate you are nice to make sure that all South Africans are documented. The document from birth certificate, the ID. So that is our primary purpose to make sure that the South African le the ID. And the right hore mo malapeng sometimes hota male mathata kere. To krana le bana ba sena di birth certificate or motswadi a belege ngwana motswadi a sena ID. Ke kopa he re na le mathata o tshwana le ona a o la tliseng ko Home Affairs a re ska nnang le batho ba ba senang identity ka mo malapeng, because of as long as you are bona fide South African. What do I mean by that? If you are born out of a mother wailing a South African, you need to be having an identity. Oka soko iseke identity o le motho wa mo hae. If only a South African ona le motswadi e le ntate, o kere mme le sa itse gore the whereabouts of the mother are unknown. A di itse gore mme wa ngwana o ile kae mara o belege ngwana mara kwa ka mo gae. Ke kopa letle go Home Affairs re tla le botsa process ya bontate ya go belega ngwana o le ya go registera ngwana o le ntate. Ne? So ngwana belega tshwantse be le birth certificate ha tena the age of 16. Tshwanetse a tloge from the birth certificate a be le ID. So o start to qualify la ID at the age of 16. Ba ba ngata re ba bona ba tla Home Affairs setse bana le bo 19, 20. It's late registration. Birth certificate is a very sensitive document. How to birth certificate mo wena ha e bontshe hore you are the rightful owner ya that birth certificate up until we ra ID. Ya kera we ra ID re gatisa menwana, then e khona go verify hore you are the rightful owner of that ID. So however, your first ID is for free. You are not paying any cent. Then, how fetsa fela, how li gore o latlhile ID, o batla e nngwe, how tla Home Affairs re bitsa a reissue of ID, o tlo patala 140 rands, ne? So I've covered the birth certificate and ID. In terms of birth certificate, he lena le motho wa expecta ngwana ko lapeng. Tshwanetse e le ha lata dikgwedi tsela tsa bofelo, maybe 9 months. Ebe sa tsa decide le hore lebitso la ngwana e tlo ba mang, ha paka beke go na le ID. We are available more Mamelodi Hospital. I do have 2 officials that are permanently based ko Mamelodi Hospital, so that we make sure when children are born, are registered. In terms of Molao wa South Africa ka birth registration, the child must be registered within 30 days of birth. But us as Home Affairs, we are saying we need to register them at birth. Hence, we are having Home Affairs go Mamelodi Hospital. So, tse dingwe di cover tsa manyalo, he le batla go tla le tlo signa ko Home Affairs, the 2 couples di atla di keletsa appointment ya go nyala, it's for free. Yes, lenyalo ke mahala. Let's appointment. La itlela. Le couple tse pedi la itlela le ikeletsa appointment. Ra nyadisa batho. Mara re tlhadise. Ra nyadisa mara re tlhadise ko Home Affairs. So ha le batlo nyala la tla la nyala, ha le batlo travel again, passport wa ya apply la ko Home Affairs, it's 600 rands. So, in short, baagi ba mo Mamelodi ne kere le ska nna le matsapa le ko lapeng. Home Affairs ya Mahube is there to help. If you feel or your case, if at the attention of the manager, feel free to visit Mahube office. But have the query tsa Mamelodi. Re thuse baagi ba Mamelodi. Ke a leboga. Ke tlo tsamaya maybe ha re go tlo nna le di question ke na le tracker e le mola e na le officially e wa so ke mo thusa go processa di ID ne. Thank you.
All right, guys. Now, organization ke tlanga ko yona ne is youth driven, even though some of us are older than the youth, is youth driven and we're very crazy. So, in line with that, before we welcome Ndate Tlo Chokwe, DJ Agiti, if una le focalistic, there's a dance that is currently born, it's trending. Ne? And ka bona ga re ba botle rutlo ofisa ga re renya ko. A ke khone bina mara for you guys. Ne? DJ patela fela ya cash content. As a belief. And I get related as gays and lesbians, we are known for bringing the fun, guys. As the LGBTQI+, we are the queens and kings of bringing fun. Am I lying? Can we all please stand up for this one? DJ, party ela fela ya trend. Party ya trend pepe. Renyaga party ya cash content.
Bathi babeka amaphiya phezulu bona. Hey. Asambe wena. Gauteng, Kamaheta, Mandela, Rapaketa, Unilever, Commemorate, Kemalema, Osagara Sakatalene, Osagara Stanseman, Tibiteri Nagasama Liste, Skepesala Sadi, Cash Content, Shanda Pump,
so much, DJ. Is everybody energized now? So, like, next door, every day, that's what we do. On a daily, sometimes, that's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our honorable guest, Dr. Atlo Uchokwe from Legislature. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Director. We as the Legislature, we can share with you that part of our work is to ensure that we pass policies, so we are making laws for you. So I know some of the questions from the audience was that Rea Sokola, Rena Rebatho ba Tshwane, and I think Batho ba Tshwane have captured it very well. You said Rena Rebatho ba Tshwane, re tswa Tshwane, re a tshwana. So in this occasion where I'm meeting people about Tshwana, the laws will be passed. I know in Parliament they are working on it. So we are also responsible for oversight, and we also make sure that there is enough public participation. That's why you are seeing us here, coming to work with you. But we also promote corporate governance, so we need accountability. So without a waste of time, let me go straight to the message of today, where I would like to greet you as my distinguished guest. I would like to greet you, our hard-working stakeholders, and I would like to greet you, the most important people, which are our lesbians, our gays, our bisexual, our transgender, our questioning and intersexual plus community, which is termed LGBTQI plus. So most of the speakers will just go through this abbreviation without going into it, so that we know who we are talking to. The residents of Tshwane, the resident of Mamelodi, and the residents of Gauteng, good afternoon. It is an honor to join you today as we commemorate the World AIDS Day and advocate for the mental health awareness. Themed today as Unity in Diversity, this event reflects the Legislature's commitment to inclusivity, equality, and well-being of all the citizens, especially the citizens of Gauteng. Today's discussion underscores the interconnectedness of physical health, mental health, and social justice. So South Africa has made significant strides in combating the most dangerous disease we can call HIV and AIDS. So as a country, we pride ourselves, while other countries near us are still struggling. Here in our country, we've managed to roll out the ARVs. We've made education campaign about this HIV and AIDS, and the destigmatization efforts have saved millions of our lives in our country. However, the fight is not over. Stigma, particularly within the vulnerable communities and our communities of LGBTQI plus community, continue to pose big challenges. Living with HIV often brings psychological challenges, fear, and sometimes people are isolated, and it brings depression to the people. So, worse, the mental health is not a side issue. It is central to our collective well-being, and we must continue to advocate for accessible, stigma-free mental health services. Today, we reaffirm as Gauteng Legislature our support to the LGBTQI plus community, Discrimination has no place in our society. So as the legislature, we will not tolerate discrimination against this community. We are stronger when we embrace diversity. Let us continue to work together as government, as civil society, as communities, to build a society where healthcare is inclusive and mental health is prioritized. I urge you today, the stakeholders sitting in this house, to strengthen partnership to promote equality, to strengthen partnership to ensure that there is enough education, especially on our mental wellness. Thank you for the dedication to these critical issues. As I can see how you have structured this participation in this hall today, let us live here inspired and create a lasting change. Together, we can honor the progress of the past 30 years and build a healthier country, a healthier society, more inclusive, especially here in South Africa. I'm stressing the 30 years because all of us knows that before 1994, it was going to be a big crime to be sitting in this hall and telling ourselves that Tshwane re a tshwana. That regime would have closed us and put us in jail and sentence us to life. That's how they were, brutal as they are. So thank you very much, Program Director. This is the message from the legislature that we are bringing it to you with love. Thank you very much.
Hey, antwe mudimu ai baga ngontle butswitse no. Ra utlwa ba non rafia. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the program. We only have one more speaker left, and that is our councillor. But before Atla, I just want to say, as an LGBTQI plus person who's been living in this community since birth, never have I seen such an event. I've been to events that LGBTQI plus in other communities, but never in my own community. And I'd like to thank Hendrik Mashao for bringing this event here today. And I'd also like to thank all the residents, Zamo Ward 23, because like I'm saying, I was born here, but I've never faced discrimination. I mean, people speak, we know that, and people make comments, but I've never been hurt. And I get a groove. I've never been discriminated against. So I'd like to thank everybody, and also everybody who made time to come here and hear what this was about. And yeah, thank you for allowing me to be part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, our last speaker is our councillor, Diamond Hendrik Mashao again. Please give him a round of applause.
Dumelang happy. Yeah. No. You know, as politicians, if things don't go right, we are always blamed. Choke, I heard someone saying, but it's hot in here. Are Councillor Rojele ya moya. But at least now, moyotli. No, colleagues, thank you very much. You know, you have been a good audience and the interaction was superb. Now, what am I supposed to do here now is just to thank each and every person who participated and made sure that this event becomes a success. But firstly, I just have to acknowledge and thank each and everyone who's here, because you have left your important engagement and said you are going to be part of that particular program. So, ari shapele matsogo hle. Yeah. So that I don't miss anyone here. I'm having a list here. Would like to thank South African Police Services and Department of Home Affairs. Shout it out now. Department of Health, Social Development, IEC, the ARC organization. Sandra, where are you? Oh. Sandra Lamola, we also like to thank you. Mandlovan, and Che, thank you very much. You know, Che has something. And if we don't say these things, you are punishing us during elections. For us to be here, it was not by coincidence. For us to be here today to celebrate this democracy, it's not by coincidence. People died. Decisions were taken. We came up with Section 9 in the Constitution, where we said no one will be discriminated because of their gender. It is us. We are just highlighting this to say, immediately when you say, government hates sale, you must remember this. Let me narrate this small story so that before I can close. You know, during elections, I met this young man within my community. He said, no, Councillor, let me engage with you. Why should I vote? I said, you know, I've been answering this question for quite some time. I'm spinning the question. Tell me, what is it that the government has done that will encourage you to vote? Atomabala. Are mina, I'm from rural area. And at least we are no longer using a communal tap. Hona le pompo ka mojarate. Now, he's the one who was now counting to say, I've been to school, I'm from KZN, now I'm here, and as far as in school, now get teacher. Now, he was counting. Before he concluded, he said to me, actually, Council, this is enough, I'm going to vote. Now, I'm challenging you to say, immediately when you begin to say government is doing nothing, here's legislature today. The caring government is engaging its people. So by the time when we say, let's go and vote, let's vote and let's vote correctly, isn't it? Furthermore, let me acknowledge the brigade, GBV brigade. Thank you very much. I've seen Tandanani. Those are our stakeholders, which we work with them very closely. Thank you very much, Tandanani. Also, I've seen CPF, our Community Policing Forum. They are also here. Thank you very much. Horibia Bakhaitsu. Halu utlwa gape ba re la bitsiwa mo wa 23. Re kopa letleng. Mo wa 23 go tletse di blessings. Bo botlhe ba le chaileng. He le fitla ile o bona lo ke ra ditwitwi di lo tlebe di tsama monate. Ke di blessings tsa wa 23. Re a leboga.
But it's rude to speak after Motomuhola. Right, and so I'd like to apologize for that. But the kids came, and we love the kids. We love the kids. The kids came up, they want to entertain you guys. So please, ladies and gentlemen, they just come up and they just came up and they said, so can we please put our hands together for the kids? DJ, I believe they want to communicate the song that they want to dance to you, but can we please just give the kids a chance?
emalaiti kalimbazo ebumnyama ayidudu emalaiti nangomadlamini sekabheka umalamula nangomalamula sekabheka umadlamini flex, we don't need no rest, no Sean need a set. If we just lulu, lulu all the pains all the way. We just lulu, lulu all the pains all the way. This is my story, this is my song. We just lulu, everything number one, position one, everything number one, money number one, blessings number one, sote number one, sote sote kana. Bendy number one, position one, everything number one, money number one, blessings number one, sote number one, sote sote kana. I'm not a friend of my enemy. I will never ever be friends with my enemies because they don't love me. I manage, I won't say. I'm not a friend of my enemy. I will never ever be friends with my enemies because they don't love me. I manage, I won't say. Bendy number one, position one, everything number one, money number one, blessings number one, sote number one, sote sote kana. Bendy number one, position one, everything number one, money number one, blessings number one, sote number one, sote sote kana.
Round of applause, ladies. Round of applause for the kids. We have come to the end of our program, but I've been told so there's lunch coming up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being an attentive audience. And thank you to the kids for the entertainment. Thank you so much.